Yes, guys, welcome back to another vid from Mutal FC, and today we got another banging vid for you. Today we've got Euro 2020 predictions for you. It's finally upon us. The tournament that got canceled because of fucking COVID last year, it's back, better than ever, and we're all excited for it. And we're got to start with Group A. Krish, who are the two top teams making it from Group A?
Yeah, so Group A, I'm going Italy as my first place team. I think they're easily the best team in this group. Uh, Turkey and Switzerland are definitely not beating them. Wales, I don't think have really any chance in this group. They haven't scored any goals in the last two games that they've played before this tournament. So I have Italy as my first place team. Turkey coming in a second. I think most people have Switzerland here. I have Turkey. I think a lot of those players on that team had great seasons this year coming into this Euros, and I think that's just going to bode well for them. Third place, I have Switzerland. I think they are going to get in as one of those top four third place teams, just because of maybe how much they'll beat Wales by, or maybe they'll get a draw against Turkey or something like that. But I think they'll get in as the third place team.
All right, then we're moving on to Group B. Who do we got in Group B? We've got Belgium, we've got Denmark, we've got Finland, and we've got Russia. For me, I think number one has to go to Belgium. They are like the second or first ranked team in FIFA World Rankings. I don't know why they're number one if France won the World Cup. But anyways, Belgium have a fantastic team. They have players who've won multiple trophies this season, and Lukaku, who's been on bang-on form for club. You've got Carrasco, you got Tielemans, you got just top quality players. Kevin De Bruyne and Hazard. Yeah, he's fat, but maybe the dude can come back and play a decent. So Belgium have a very strong squad. So I think they're going to number one be in the group. And then the second place team, this is where it gets a little tricky. Russia always do good in tournaments. We saw them beat Spain in the quarterfinals last year. In the world, or get to the quarterfinals in the World Cup last year, or 2 years ago. Sorry, but I think Denmark are actually going to take second place. If you look at this Denmark squad, they've got a very good team, right? They've got a lot of players who play in top five leagues, and they're just doing well. I mean, Christian Eriksen, Braithwaite, people meme him at Barcelona, but he's a good player. Christensen, a Champions League winner. Schmeichel. So they are a very good team. So I think they'll get second place in this group. So Belgium and Denmark for me.
Yeah, so moving on to Group C, Austria, Netherlands, Ukraine, and North Macedonia somehow got themselves into the Euros. Never seen them there before, but I have Netherlands winning this group easily. I think they should not. They've had some injuries. Van Dijk's not going to be able to play. Van de Beek's not going to be able to play, which I don't know how, considering he sat the bench the whole year for United. So I guess he somehow got hurt sitting on the bench, but that's a topic for another day. But anyways, I have Netherlands first. I have Austria in second, simply because I just think when you have someone like David Alaba who has as much experience in top competitions as he does, it should be enough to get Austria second over the likes of North Macedonia and Ukraine. So I have Austria coming in second. And then I have Ukraine as my third place team, but I don't think they're going to qualify. They should lose to Austria and Netherlands by a lot. So I think their goal difference is going to keep them out of the knockout stages.
All right, then next is Group D. I know all you English fans are going crazy. You guys think it's coming home. It's not an easy group, to be fair. I mean, obviously you've got Croatia, Czech Republic, England, and Scotland, and we kind of know what the beef a little bit between England and Croatia is. Obviously, Croatia knocked England out in the World Cup semifinal 2-3 years ago, so there's obviously that tension there. And England will definitely want revenge. And it's going to be a tough group for England, but a lot of pressure on this England side. In 2018, there was no pressure, and England really thrived. But this time, there's a lot of pressure. They've got Champions League winners. They've got a lot of players in more experienced players like Rashford, who came in as a kid last time, is more experienced. Jadon Sancho, more experienced. Kane, probably in his prime at the moment. So you've got a strong England side, and I'm going to actually say England won't even top their group because of the amount of pressure they have. They won't top their group. I'm having Croatia top this group. Croatia are more of a team. They don't rely on individuals. And I've watched England in these friendlies building up to these games. It's been 1-0 narrow wins. It's not good. Maguire is still not fit yet. He still hasn't trained with England yet. He's in the match. He's in the squad, but he hasn't trained with them. So that is concerning. Also, Jordan Henderson does not look like the player he is for Liverpool. Obviously, he's been injured for months now. So I don't know why Southgate took Henderson Makes no sense. You could have saved that for a James Ward-Prowse. But yeah, I don't know if England go back to that five-back system, it's going to be trouble for them. So I think Croatia are going to top this group. I think England are going to get second, and I know Scotland, who haven't been in a major competition for 23 years, but I think they're going to get third, and they're going to make that fourth, top four, third spot. So I think they will get to the knockout stage. So I got Croatia, England, and Scotland.
Yeah, so moving on to Group E with Poland, Slovakia, Spain, Sweden. I think this is a sneaky good group. It's going to be an interesting group. I think any four of these teams can win this group. Maybe not Slovakia, but I think the other three definitely can. As my first place team, I have Sweden. I know most people are going to be like, why are you not putting Spain up there? I think the Spain team is a lot weaker than a lot of Spain teams that have been in recent tournaments since like 2010, those 28 Euros, 2012. Like that Spain team was prime Spain. They were winning trophies, dominating, kind of like how France is right now. Since then, there's been a big drop off. 2014, they didn't get out of their group. 2016 Euros, I'm pretty sure they didn't do that well. Again, 2018 World Cup, they lost to Russia on PKs. So I think they're just falling off more and more. The team does not look any better. They should win this group, but I think they're going to lose to Sweden. Some of the players on the Sweden team are not terrible, actually. So, Kulusevski on Juve, they saw Forsberg. There's Lindelof back on defense. He usually plays well for Sweden. So there's some experience there from past competitions. So I think it should be enough to win them this group. So I have Sweden in first. I have Spain in second. They should have enough to get out of this group. Poland in third. I think they will get out of this group as the third or fourth, whatever, third place team to make it to knockout stages. Because I think having Lewandowski, you have to get out of this group. So I have Poland as my third place team, and I think they will make the knockout stages.
Yeah, and just a word on Spain. I mean, I'm not sure they still have that COVID problem because they had just put out a U21 team against some Lithuania or whoever they played yesterday. So I don't know if they'll be like if the first teamers will be allowed to play. So that's a whole like thing to deal with there. So we'll see what happens with Spain. But the last and final group, I think it's the group that everyone wants to watch. The group of death. France, Germany, Hungary, no offense, they're gonna get they're gonna get clapped. And then Portugal. It's a fantastic group. France and Portugal, probably the teams of the tournament if you look at on paper and performances of the season. It's a very tough group, and I think number one, it's really hard to look past this France team. They, like Chris said, this France team is like that Spanish team of like the early 2010s and stuff. They got to the final of the Euros and lost to Portugal on an Adair long shot, which is probably unlucky. Probably should have went to pens, and they could have won that. Then they got to the final of the 2018 World Cup and won that. And they beat some hard opponents to that World Cup final. Argentina in that 4-3 thriller. Belgium 1-0, a narrow victory in the semifinals. It was a tough run. And now they're in this hella hard group. But guess what? France has so much talent that they can call up Karim Benzema, who they won the World Cup without. And now they're bringing that type of player who's had a great season again back into the squad. And then, Benzema gets injured, like a small injury yesterday. Giroud comes on and scores 2 goals. The quality in this France team is just too good. And when you've got Pogba and Kanté, they have never lost a game when those two started. And you know those two are going to start every game in this tournament. So they're going to destroy this group. Destroy may be a little stretch. Portugal and Germany will give them good games. But I know this might be a little controversial, but I think Germany will finish second, and Portugal will again have to qualify like they did in 2016 through the third place in the group. I just think Portugal look like a very good team, but from what I've seen with this team, they have a lot of fantastic players, but they don't necessarily mesh well, right? And obviously the Portugal manager is more of a defensive approach manager. Can he get the best out of the players like Ronaldo, Joao Felix, Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, Jota, right? They have a lot of talent. Can he get the best out of them? I don't know. So I think Germany, I know they haven't been great either, but I just think Germany, maybe Havertz and Werner coming off some good Chelsea games, they'll play all good, and I think Germany will get second and Portugal will get third. So the winner, who do I think is going to win the whole competition? I know I was talking about France, and I know I was talking about Portugal and Germany, but you know what? I'm going to say Belgium. I think this is Belgium's year to win the whole competition. I think they have a lot of good players. Their group isn't too bad. And Lukaku, KDB, they come out in interviews recently and said, if we don't really win it this year, it's going to be hard for Belgium after this because they have their prime like team right now. So I think Belgium win the Euros.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go France. I think that's just the like I don't know how you don't say France. I think props to Vignesh, you give a great argument for Belgium, but I think we all know like France is gonna end up winning this tournament. They're just stacked everywhere, and as Vignesh mentioned before, they won the World Cup without someone like Benzema, and you bring in that kind of a player, like Real Madrid's arguably best player last season. And you put him up top next to Mbappe and Griezmann. You have Pogba, who plays better for France than he does for United, sitting next to Conte. I don't know how that team loses or how any team beats that team. So I have France as my winner for the Euros.
And then we're gonna go on to the best player. Who's gonna win the best player award? I know I was shitting on England a little before, but I think it's gonna be Jack Grealish. I mean, I think I've watched this guy so many times. I think this dude is a fucking baller. I mean, if he played on a bigger team, I think he'd get more credit. I think he's gonna have an amazing tournament for himself individually. Whether England get, I only think England will get to the quarterfinals. I'll be honest. I don't think they're gonna do some insane push, but I think he'll do so good up till the quarterfinals. Like the performance will be so good, everyone will talk about him. Because I feel like players like Mbappe who do good, like he's not gonna get that credit because like they've already established themselves. Like Grealish is kind of his first major tournament, if I'm not wrong. So I feel like there'll be a lot more eyes on him. So I think Grealish will have the best player award.
Yeah, so I'm giving my best player award to N'Golo Kante. For me, the winner of the best player award has to be the winner of the Euros. And I just think giving it to Kante, if he plays well this whole Euros, it's going to. I still think Lewandowski deserves the Ballon d'Or for breaking a record in the Bundesliga that's been there for over 40 years and scoring over 40 goals. But I think this would make the conversation very interesting and who you give it to, because now you have Kante, who's led Chelsea to the Champions League and led France to the Euros, and then you have Lewandowski, who's broken insane records and played like out of his mind the last 2 years. So I have my best player this tournament as N'Golo Kante.
All right, then who's going to be the dark horse of the tournament? I'm gonna have Italy. Now I know some people might be like Italy, but like they're actually a decent side. I know, but let's think about what Italy were 2, 3 years ago in the World Cup. They weren't in the World Cup. That's the thing. They had to play a qualifier against Sweden and they lost, and they weren't even in the World Cup. A team like Italy, we're not. That's crazy to think about. And even when you look at this Italy side, they're not the greatest team. They have old defenders. They don't really have strikers or forwards that are insane, right? We have a player Insigne, obviously Immobile, but no offense to these players, Immobile has been criticized for not doing it in any league except Serie A, right? Because he really failed at Dortmund, he failed at Sevilla. Can he really do it for Italy? So I'm not sure, and I just feel like this Italy team, they look like they're going to work as a unit, but I don't think they're as good as maybe people are saying. So I think even if they get to the semifinal or quarterfinal, that's going to be a big achievement for them. So I'm going to say Italy, dark horse.
Yeah, so my dark horse, I'm going Poland. So I mentioned Conte as winning the best player, so that it would kind of up the competition for Lewandowski. I think Lewandowski is going to top that by leading Poland um, to going far into this competition. I do have Poland finishing third in this group, but I think they'll do well in the knockout stages, surprising a few people, because all you need to win in the knockout stages is a chance or two to move on to the next round. I think Portugal showed that last tournament by finishing third and then getting all the way to the final and just getting that one chance against France to score. When you have a striker like Lewandowski, I think just giving him one chance or two chances can win you the entire game. So I have Poland as my dark horse for this tournament.
And then the final award that we have, top goal scorer. Who do we think is going to win top goal scorer? For me, I did say I think Belgium are going to win this whole competition. So I have Romelu Lukaku. I think he's been on insane form. He's finally won his first league title under Antonio Conte for Inter Milan. I think with the type of players he's got in his like team, he's just going to get so much supply. So I think it's Lukaku's time to shine, and he's going to get the top goal scorer award.
Yeah, so I'm giving top goal scorer to Harry Kane. Um, I think England are going to go somewhat far. I think semifinals or finals they may make just because France is on the. If France wins their group and they win their group, they'll be on opposite sides of the bracket. So that gives Kane a lot of games to score. And the way he's been playing in the Prem with the players he has on Spurs compared to what he has on England, he's going to have more of a supply at England. So I think he'll definitely be finishing his chances. So I have Kane as my top scorer. But yeah, let us know in the comments. Who do you guys think is going to win the Euros? Let us know your best player, your dark horse, whatever you guys want to let us know about this Euros, any of your predictions. Let us know in the comments. But other than that, make sure to subscribe, drop a like, and we'll catch you in the next vid.